Okay, so last class we covered about quality and what are the four pillars of quality management, right? We discussed about that and how different quality management thinker have defined the quality. That also we have discussed, right? So you know the definition of quality. So somebody told it's a fitness for use. Someone said is meeting the customer requirement, right? So meeting the customer expectation, right? So improving the product performance, right? Comparing your product with the standard, that is also a quality, right? Different quality aspects we discussed and four pillars of quality we discussed, that is customer satisfaction and prevention of over inspection, continuous improvement, and management responsibility. These are the four important pillars of any quality management. So we discussed about what do you mean by uh, quality assurance and quality control. Right. What is quality assurance and what is difference between quality control? Can someone tell me? What is the difference between quality control and yes? Can someone tell?
And sir, quality control and
Quality control and quality assurance. Assurance.
quality control is something which is monitored during the process of manufacturing.
Okay. Quality assurance.
Assurance is uh,
Assurance is
say
how a
bringing out
product
the
is
output to a level which they promise to give to the customers.
Okay. Yeah, someone else was telling something.
Sir, assurance is basically like the process by which the product is produced, and quality control is basically like it's a part of like management that is focused on completing the quality requirements for that particular product.
Yeah, quality control means you are already produced the product and you are measuring the.
Another
Yeah, yeah, Rekha. You want to tell something?
yeah, sir, quality.
Hello.
Yeah, sir, quality
You can
control
mute
means
otherwise,
it is
Rekha.
a sir, am I audible?
Okay, thank you. So that is what quality control means. You have already produced the product and you will be measuring the quality of the. Yeah, yeah. Tell me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're audible.
Yeah, sir. I think it is
Audible,
a
audible.
network issue. Sir, quality control means it is a system like quality standard itself. Like what we maintaining the
Yeah.
product standard, it will be the quality control. And a quality assurance means what will we give the um, means promise we about that product, that will the assurance.
Okay. So
What I see
yeah,
now.
yeah. Thank you. So quality control means product is already produced, then you are going to inspect. That is called quality control. Quality assurance means you are going to design your processes such that your processes won't produce the defects itself. So it's prevention over inspection. I am preventing. So we tell no, uh, prevention is better than cure. So you need to prevent. So if you, that is what you design process yourself. Once corona comes, treatment you are going to get, that is different thing. But how we are going to prevent that so that corona that doesn't occur only. So means corona here means quality issue. Quality doesn't, you should design your process such a way that quality defective parts won't be produced. So your process planning, so your product standardization, it should be such that it won't lead to defect. So customer hands will not reach any defective product. Is that clear? That is prevention means quality assurance. Uh, you are preventing. Got it? No? Yes.
Yes, sir, got it.
Yeah, you are preventing defects itself from occurring. You are designing, you are training your employees such a way that defect won't occur. You are recruiting a good material from your supplier. You are training your employees about the process. You are simplifying your processes. So wherever there is chances of producing defect, you are trying to maybe redesign those processes. Wherever errors are, you are making your processes mistake proof. That is what I want to say. Mistake
Yes, sir.
proofing, we tell like that.
Basically eliminating the
Yeah.
problems in the prototype stage.
Yes, yes. So so that it won't produce any defective parts, right? So that is what we discussed. So those are the 4 pillars of quality management. Customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction, you know, that is the main objective. So customer is the king. We are going to tell, right? So nowadays we tell also customer is queen, right? Many majority of the household which you are going to buy, it is dependent on the housewife. Those they are going to influence lot of things what we are going to buy. So nowadays we tell customer is queen also, right? So so customer is the king. His satisfaction is very important for us. So if you provide quality products, you are going to meet that. Then prevention is over. Prevention over inspection is the second pillar. That is quality assurance is important more than the control, right? So everyone cook at the home, right? So you are going to do, you are preparing food and you are checking for salt, everything. That is quality control, right? So you should design such a way that you did not have to check. You directly, once you finish the cooking, you should be able to serve. Sometimes you become expert in that, right? So that is what we call it as quality assurance. So you prepare your food such a way that you need not have to inspect. You know what is the amount of rice you need to put, or how much amount of vegetables you need to put, how much amount of masala you need to put, how much amount of kara you need to put. So you know everything. So you need not have to inspect. So nowadays we are telling inspection is also non-value adding activity. So customer is not going to pay for your inspection. You have to, whichever activity which doesn't add any value to the product is called as non-value adding activity. So we are not any processing. No, we are not any processing. In inspection, you are not processing a product. So it's a non-value adding activity. If someone is waiting for some product to be come at it towards season, it's a non-value adding. If somebody is waiting, it's a non-value adding activity. Right. So product is work in process. It's a non-value adding. So how you are going to design your line, production line or automation line. So how you are going to design so that defect won't occur in your product. It may be due to machine, it may be due to environment, it may be due to human error. There are many factors which will lead to defect. So you need to redesign complete your setup so that there will not be any defect. So continuous improvement also I discussed. So I told you it is called as Japanese concept. It's a Kaizen. We are going to tell like that. Kai means change, Zen means good, changing for good. So continuous improvement. So you are not going to achieve quality at one level. So there is always scope for improvement, right? If you go for Six Sigma also, you are producing 99.97 good products and 0.003 bad products, something like that. 3.4 defects per million opportunity. If you are Six Sigma company also, there will be going to be some defective, but how to reduce? You cannot directly make it zero. You have to continually improve to reach that zero defect, zero effect stage. So whatever you are going to produce, it will have zero defect and it will have zero effect. Effect means it should not have any impact on the environment. So your product should be sustainable, should be eco-friendly, right? So that is what important is. So fourth pillar is management responsibility. So it's a management commitment to bring out quality. Whatever changes are there, they have to show commitment. Then only it should go the flow from top to bottom. That quality objective, whatever management vision, mission, whatever they are going to set. So that should demonstrate that. Then only employees will follow. All right. Also, we discussed about quality costs. So different costs we discussed: quality of conformance, quality of non-conformance. In quality of conformance, we have appraisal cost, we have prevention cost. Quality of non-conformance, we have internal failure cost and external failure cost, right? So can anyone tell what are these costs? So these are very important. Definitely you are going to get questions on this in your final exam. What is the different types of quality cost? Maybe can you identify what are the costs involved in, what are the different four categories of cost involved in when I look at the metro construction? If you consider metro as a project, so what are the appraisal cost involved? So what are the prevention cost involved in the metro construction? So what are the internal failure cost? What are the external? Can anyone tell, taking any example? Or software development. So in the exam, it will be given like this. Can you identify these four costs when you're developing a software? Right. Can anyone tell, if you are from software background, you can take the example of software development. If you are from civil, whatever branch you are, think of it. So how you can apply this cost into your project. So every project has to deliver quality product. At the end, it has to deliver some product. So metro, some output or result, right? Some service it should result in. So what are the costs? Can you identify in any of your project these costs? Take 5 minutes. Each one of you take 5 minutes time. Then each one of you have to tell me some project you take. All the four costs you have to tell me. Then I will move with the next part. Is that fine? Take 5 minutes time. Okay. 2:40 will come back.
Yes,
I
sir.
will
So
be-
can you
yeah.
repeat that?
Yeah,
cost?
any project you take, identify all these four costs.
No, sir.
costs.
That
Ah.
four cost, one cost I
Yeah,
didn't-
yeah, appraisal cost, prevention cost, internal failure cost, external failure cost.
Okay, sir.
These are all called as quality costs. Quality costs. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Four costs are there: appraisal, prevention, internal, external failure cost. So 240, I will come back and ask you. Yeah, can anyone tell me
Yes, sir.
one by one? Yeah,
Sir, can take any example, right, sir?
any example?
Sir, if I take in electronics any components,
Okay.
so appraisal cost is something if uh, uh, if there is a defective product, then eliminating that before sending it.
Hmm. Okay, correct.
So that cost, for example, if a product is done, then if a product is done and then it's a failure, of course there will be some cost involved in creating that product.
Hmm.
So that cost is appraisal cost, and the prevention cost is, for example, um the tests which we run for the product. For example, if any chip manufacturing, the temperature checks, if in metros test runs, the cost involved for that, uh, safety checks and all is
Yeah,
called
measuring, or wherever measuring, testing is involved, inspection is involved. That is appraisal cost.
yes.
Okay.
And internal failure is if a final prototype fails in certain aspects, desired aspects, then that is internal failure cost.
That's what you have to
External,
give example related to some project. And
if at
you are
all
right. Whatever.
the sensor, yes sir,
Yeah,
the
you are
calibration
telling
of the
the
sensor
definitions
goes
again.
wrong,
Hmm.
sir.
You are telling the definitions again. I want in
Yes,
the
sir.
project how they are applied.
Sir, in if I speak about manufacturing the chips, if the calibration of a transistor goes wrong in the prototype, then it's a total waste. So
Okay,
that's a fail cost.
correct.
And external cost, if the chip or the battery, for example, Samsung S7
Hmm.
uh, goes more than the safety temperature and gets exploded, then they have to recover all the devices sold again back. So
Correct.
that's external failure.
Correct. External means once it reaches defects found out by the customer,
Customer.
not the
Yes,
manufacturer.
yes,
That is the external failure cost. Simple. Okay. Already product is in the customer hand. He has found out the defect. Right.
yes.
So that is the external failure. Yeah. One more. Can anyone voluntarily tell example?
So, uh, so like
Yeah.
for
So,
example, for a
yeah.
machine, for any machine production,
Okay.
so in a prevention cost, there can be training and
Correct.
maintenance for that particular machine operation.
Correct. Very good.
Uh, and then there can also be planning out of how to control the quality of the product.
Yes. Yes. Planning also prevention only. Planning, training. Correct.
Yes. And then in appraisal costs, the inspection of the materials and the equipments which have been acquired,
Correct.
and then testing those products as well.
Okay. Correct.
Then in internal failure cost or internal cost, it can be the scrap which has been produced by those products. Scraps as in the extra materials which have been invested upon, but they have been uh, cut out as scraps because those were either extra materials or were defected in some way.
Correct. Correct.
So yeah, so that and then reworking upon them. So that also comes under internal failure only, to reworking in the sense that to make them into a viable product again.
Correct.
Then in external failure cost, it can be the like so, if it comes from the customer point of view, so it can be warranty
Correct.
warranty of the product, and then
Yes.
the repairs which we would need to give them,
Hmm.
which we would need to provide for the damages that have been caused in the products during the guaranteed period of time. And
Hmm.
Yeah, that's it, sir. That's all.
Okay, good. Anyone else?
Sir, can I?
Yeah, please.
Sir, if I take simple example for car delivery, if a customer purchase a new car, means a prevention cost in that, like what we are giving the training for uh, preventing the defects, like cost preventing defects, that is called prevention cost.
Okay, good.
Then appraisal cost means a cost of like which inspecting testing, like in that car what we are inspecting and testing, determining whether defect exists, it means appraisal cost.
Okay,
And then
correct.
internal failure cost means like prior to delivery, means like before delivery what it needs, like something issues in the car, that is the internal failure cost. Then external failure cost means after delivery what we are giving the warranty of that car, means some period of warranty we gave, that period it will be damaged or anything else, cost incurred after delivery, it will be the external failure cost.
Okay, good, very. So that is what, and again, if you consider software development as an example, right, maybe training your testers or coders about the standards of testing or standards of coding, right, training your employees, so, right, related to different types of testing, right, different types of software used for testing. So all those things come under training them. All those things comes under prevention cost. Appraisal means testing that particular software, right? So that is what measuring the quality characteristics of the module. Maybe different testing you are going to perform, like integration test, black box testing, white box testing. So appraisal means measuring the that particular whatever product you have created. Then internal fail means whatever bug you are going to incur. So again you have to rework, again you have to recode, again you have to retest. Once you have found out the bugs, that is what we call it as internal failure. It has not, your software has not reached to the hands of the customer. So still it's with you, right? So many bugs you have got. You have to rework, you have to redo, you have to redesign your software. So that will incur a lot of cost. That is what internal, whatever internally find out bugs. Once your software reaches the customer, he also find out there is no proper integration between two modules, right? So unable to access, unable to log in, having some problem in the software. So different bugs he is going to come out with, right? So that is what we call it as external failure cost, right? So next we are going to discuss about different quality tools. So what are the different 7QC tools you should know as a project manager? So what are these tools? Let us understand. So note down, these are the seven. There are more, but only 7 are very important for us. Data check sheet is important, Pareto diagram. These 4 and Pareto, check sheet. So I'm going to discuss all these, but 7 are important. I'm going to tell which are the 7. Right, these are the important tools of quality management. So they are used in problem solving. So what is problem? Simple. Problem is an unsatisfied performance in the product or a service. So why you are using quality tools? To identify the problem in the product performance, right? Why they are failing. So in the project, problem can be of any kind. Hope you are able to see the PPT, right? Are you able to see the PPT?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So problem can be anything in the any company. Non-conformance is a problem. Scrap is a problem. Chronic rework is a problem. Recurring accepted deviation. Poor yield is a problem. Customer complaint is a problem. So many problems you will have in your project. Machine breakdown is a problem. Low process capability is a problem. Losing customer is a problem. Right. So these are all areas of your project: reducing market share, late delivery. So these are different problems. Using these quality tools, we are identifying. So we need to what is solving. So I've understood what is problem, how to solve. So identify state where the above symptoms do not occur. Right. So what we need to do done to so that the before slide, whatever I showed, those state doesn't occur in the product. So what we have to do. So what are the different approaches we have? Either you have data, you should collect data and you need to analyze that data, or use your experience, intuition. Either you can solve using your experience or you can use the data. So what are the problem approaches? So A, traditionally used, it requires no factual analysis. Symptom is there, directly you are going to give a remedy. And one more B, how do we solve problem? Using methodological or scientific approach, we are going to solve the problem. First, we know the symptoms. What is the symptoms? Then you will understand root cause. Then we will go for remedy. So if you talk about those, we usually whatever symptoms we get, nowadays we go to doctor directly. We want remedy. So they will only whatever painkillers, everything is there. They are going to kill the symptoms. They are not going to identify root cause why those particular symptoms are occurring. Right. If you go in maybe Ayurveda, they will give you they will identify root cause why it is problem is reoccurring. So we directly go to whatever happens to us. We go to direct. We want direct remedy. No root cause. So first, you need to identify why that particular problem, acidity problem or whatever problem, why it is happening to me. What is the root cause of that? You need to kill the root cause, not the. We are killing only symptoms, right? We are not killing the root cause. That is very important. So if you go in Ayurveda and all that, they will look for the root cause. They will understand your body first, then what is wrong with your body. Then they will be, according to what suits your body, they are going to give you the remedy. So that is, we need to follow this scientific and methodological process of problem solving. Is this slide clear? Yes? It's a self-explanatory, I think. You can got it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in problem solving, by approach B, simple QC tools play a role. So here, solving systematically, methodologically, we use these quality tools. Tools, what are the tools? So data gathering to quantify the current status or magnitude of the problem. So it's called a descriptive analysis. Just you are going to collect the data about the process or the product, its measurements. So that is data gathering. Then check sheet to facilitate. We are using check sheet. We are going to see example for each to facilitate the data gathering. It's a check sheet. Maybe if you are planning to go for a trip or something like that, right? You will have a checklist, right? What all things you wish to take. So that is what we make a checklist. So accordingly, we keep on ticking what all the things we start packing for going for trip or something like that. Or if you have marriage in your house, so you will have some check sheet. So whom to call. So you will make a checklist how many relatives are going to come. Right. So those kind of to facilitate data gathering, we are going to use the check sheet. Stratification to identify and segregate the different sources of the problem. See, all problems may not be human related, or all problems may not be material related. So there will be different kinds of problems. All right. So you have to categorize them into different groups which are related to human, which are errors are made by human, which are errors are going to come from machine, which are going to come from environment. To identify and segregate different sources of the problem is important. So which where it is coming? It is coming from machine, whether it is coming from human, or it is coming from environment, where it is coming. That is what we call the stratification. Then Pareto diagram to prioritize the problem causes for taking action. So you heard about Pareto principle. Can anyone tell what is Pareto principle? You can Google it and tell me what is Pareto principle. Yes.
Sir, the Pareto principle states for many outcomes, roughly 80% of consequence comes from 20% of the causes.
Yes, correct.
Um,
Okay, so that is your 80% of the problems are created by 20% of the causes. So that is the Pareto principle, right? Like 20% of the wealth in India maybe with the 20% of the rich people, something like that, right? We need to identify that 20% of causes which create 80% of the problem. We will always focus on 80% of the causes which will lead to only 20% of the problem. So you have to be very clear. You should focus on class A items only, which are main important things to you. So that is what the Pareto principle states. To prioritize the problem, causes for taking action. Then brainstorming, you know that already in the last class we discussed brainstorming, generating many ideas for a specific problem. Then cause and effect diagram, uh, generate ideas in a structured way possible to identify the possible for causes of the problems. For our cause and effect diagram, I'm going to give example. So for whatever effect you are need to identify. So effect you have got the maybe some fever or something like that is the effect. So what are the causes for that? Maybe you have eaten outside, or you might have contacted with the person who has got infection. There may be many causes. So you have touched some surface which caused you the infection. So effect is already you got the fever. That is the effect. So what might be the causes? We start analyzing in the organization. We first effect may be your defect only your effect. So you have a problem. So you have a yield, whatever product. So defective product is effect. So what might be the causes for that particular defect in the product? So what are the causes, whether it is related to human, whether it is related to material? So it's a combination of both. So maybe employee skill is not good, or machine has become old, or maintenance is not done properly. So why that machine or human is producing that defective part, right? So defective product is the effect, and what are the causes for that? Then histogram you might have seen bar graph. So how the variation, how distribution, it is going to give distribution of your defects. Maybe you have scored your mark, 60% people have scored in their test. I want to analyze. I can analyze using the histogram. So what is the variation? Through bar graph, I will come to know. So what is my mean? What is my standard deviation? So all those things I'm going to give. In terms of here, in terms of defect, how the different products are varying, right? Which are falling near the standard reading, which are not falling, which are the product not falling near the mean. So we can do that using histogram. You heard about histogram, right? You have used it in your projects or drawing, analyzing some data you frequently use, right? Hope you have used it. You heard of this term, no? Histogram. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I've heard of.
Yes, sir. Okay, you have used it, I suppose, scatter diagram to study the relationship between two sets of values. So scatter diagram means how your sales is, if you are investing in sales, how it is going to improve or else you are going to invest in marketing some amount. So how it will result in your sales. So you want to check that relationship, whether it is linear relationship, you are spending for advertisement and your sales, whether it's a non-linear relationship or it's a no relationship. Is there any relationship between both the things, two variables? To study that, we are going to use the scatter diagram. Right. So these are the important quality tools which we are going to use. Let us see one by one. Data gathering, it's not that important. You know it. Numerical expression. So conclusion based on the facts, data are necessary, very important. So nowadays we talk about big data and all that, artificial intelligence. So data is very important. Whatever machines are going to generate different data, we need to be able to capture. If you are not able to express phenomena in numbers, you do not know about it adequately. So whatever you are going to measure, then only you should, then only will the control. So that is very important. So you know it, what are the different types of data. There will be any project you take, you will have qualitative data and qualitative data, right? In quantitative, again, you have measurable. Measurable means continuous data, we call it as. Countable means it's a discrete data. So kindly make a note of it. Measurables, length, temperature, weight, all called as continuous data. So you can measure on continuous scale. Countable means it's called as discrete data, or it can be also called as categorical data. So yes or no, success or failure, defect or no defect. So number of defects, right? So that is what we call it as qualitative means subject. Scores in the beauty context, male or female, right? Subjective assessment, right? That is qualitative data. It's quantitative means in numbers, right? Measurable means it will be in decimals. Countable means it will be in full number, right? So number of failures, I cannot tell it as number of how many failed in project management. I cannot say 8.5. It should be countable, either 9 or 10. I should be able to tell how many people have failed. That is countable. That is discrete data. Quantitative data means continuous data means length, weight. You can tell your length and weight, maybe 80.5, 80.75, something like that. That is what we call it as continuous measurable data. Then qualitative data, right? Color of your hair. So it is a subjective. So it is not measured in the gender, male or female. It's a qualitative data. Is that clear, this slide? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So that is qualitative data. So these are all I will going to share this PPT.
So generally, how will they ask all this in an exam, sir?
They will tell in the exam, they will ask about explain 7 quality tools. Maybe 10 marks will be there.
So that would be a direct question.
Yeah, direct question. Maybe some situation they will give, or they may ask you to draw root cause analysis diagram for this. Something like that.
Okay.
Okay. So data gathering is not required. Directly I will move to 7 which are important. How to collect data. So data must be collected, not cooked. So that is very important. So real-time data you should be able to collect. Then only, so whatever machine breakdown happens, it should be immediately brought. That data should go to whatever manager is mobile. Information immediately go. So it should be instantaneous. So in the night shift, something happens. If the manager comes to know in the tomorrow's morning, you would have lost that time. Majority of the business you might have lost. You are unable to produce. Something happens, some to machine or something like that. So you have to be, data is very important. As soon as immediately real time data is better. If it has breakdown, if it is 9:45, something happened in the night, somebody is telling me in the morning 9 a.m. What is the use of that data? I am not going to get benefited out of that, right? So immediately, instantaneously, that is what we talk about, all these IoT and all that, smart manufacturing and all that. So whatever immediately it should go to, then only immediately at the spot I should be able to take a decision. That's how you should generate the data in the organization. So why we take wrong data, mistaken data, maybe wrong choice of the instrument, lack of calibration, improper sampling, lack of standards, inadequate test facilities, lack of training. So we collect the wrong data in the organization. Maybe some product may be bad. Due to improper sampling, that bad product may reach to customer. So sometimes we do sampling when we don't have time. No, inspect all each and every in the mass production. Once we don't have time, we take some 100 lot size. In that, we inspect only 10. If we found less than 3 defects, we are going to accept whole lot. If we are going to get less than 3 defects, more than 3 defects, we are going to reject whole lot only. So that is what we call it as sampling. So got it. No, when you go to any sweet, when you want to buy sweets, if you want to have 2 kgs of sweet, you want to eat 2 kgs of sweet, right? You will ask for the sample, right? Based upon that, you are going to decide. So if this small sample is good, so whole population will be good. So that is what the sampling comes. You got it, no? What do you mean by sampling? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whenever we don't have much manpower or lot of cost involved, we do sampling, right? So it is very difficult or costly to go and each and every, like if you are, you want to find out the average height of a engineering student. So I cannot go and measure the height of each engineering student. It is for me very difficult to go in all, maybe Bangalore, if you consider only Bangalore. For me, it is very logistically, it's very difficult to go and each every college and measure the height of the students. So what I do is sampling. Maybe some 10 engineering colleges I will identify in Bangalore. In all 10, maybe 50 students each, I am going to measure the height. So based upon that, I am going to decide the average height of the engineering students. So based upon sample, I am going to determine the whatever height of the population is. So that is sampling. Lack of standards, lack adequate facilities, these are all lead to mistaken data. So for proper data collection, what you have to do, proper sampling procedure, proper choice of the instrument. You should do frequently calibrate your instrument. You should get in your in department also many instruments, they have maybe in labs, they have attached some calibration certificates. Right. So you might have seen. Next one is check sheet. Check sheet is convenient and compact format of data collection. Just I give the introduction, just see how it looks. So simplification of the data gathering. So provide preliminary summarization, provide basis of statistical analysis. So check sheet, what all data you want to collect. So if you want to go for survey, so you will have a format, you have a checklist. So you will ask for name, age, right, his gender, what is his qualification, salary level, what is his profession. Right. So different, you will have some format. That is what we call it a check sheet. What all the data I should collect, right, while going for vaccination. So they will have a standard Aadhaar card number, phone number, all the details they are going to ask. So you can see where it is used. Uses of check problem monitoring, directed for troubleshooting, areas of application, number of defects, location of the defect identifying, measurement on quality characteristics. So number of defects to note down that, location of the defect, measurement of quality characteristics. Quality characteristics mean any length, weight, whatever you are measuring related to product, that is quality characteristics. Production, measurement of process parameters, number of defects in the product, location of the defect, maintenance time, what is the maintenance time, downtime. So all these things you can record in the check sheet. Machine wise breakdown, causes of the breakdown. So type of check sheets, type of check sheet for various purpose of checking type of check sheet. So determine the defects, defective item check sheet. These are different types of check sheets. We'll see one example. You can have the production process distribution check sheet. So they are measuring the diameter of the component X. So which department, specification, right, measurements, right, so centimeters, 0.95 centimeter, 0.955, 955 centimeter, how many times it has occurred, right, they have noted down. Right, this is the format. You are measuring the quality characteristics of a diameter of that is diameter of the component is the quality characteristics. So 0.5, 90, 95, how many times you have got? 0.963 times you got. 0.977 times you have got here. 0.98, 17 times you have got. 0.99. So these may be dates, I think. I think these are the dates in which that sample is collected, or date or some day, 5th day, 10th day, 15th day. So what is the 15th frequency of occurrence? Right, this is the check sheet. Ratification. Already I told you. Let us ratification, I think not required. That is not included in 7 QC2. So classification helps in our, just remember, helps in the obtaining vital information by discussing and comparing data into different class or strata. You are dividing whatever idea into different classes. That is important. It's also identify three strata to concentrate on. In areas of Pareto principle. So next comes important Pareto. So 80-20 principle, it is called as 80-20 principle. The Pareto principle is generally used to prioritize quality problem projects to get most returns for the resources invested. Let us see how diagram looks like. The basic principle you should remember, 80% of any effect are due to 20% of the causes. Okay. So what is the problem? Quality, defects, faults, failures. If it is related to cost, amount of loss, expenses, if it is related to delivery, stock, shortages. So all these can be analyzed using Pareto chart. Safety, accidents, breakdown, mistakes, operator, shift, group, experience, skill, machine equipment, tools, raw materials, maintenance. So to find out the major problem in all these, you are going to use. Can you see this? This is the Pareto. In the exam, you should be able to draw this, and some example you take, draw this and try to explain. Okay. So passenger complaints in the airport. So here, if you see flight problems and baggage and service, they will cause to 70% of the total complaints received in the airport. But what we do is we always focus on refund. Will make it a major issue. We think that is the main important problem, or fares are very important for me. But they are going to affect only those causes are going to affect only 20% of the problem. So these 80% of the causes like flight problem, baggage, service, they are very important for you. You should focus on them. So that will lead to 70 to 80% of the problem. So few causes will be important. So you need to focus on that particular causes. Is that clear? This chart, this is cumulative. Cumulative 26 is then cumulative of flight and baggage is 50. Cumulative of all three is 70. Hope you got it. Number of complaints. Yes or no? Are you able to visualize?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's very self-explanatory. It is very easy. You can see the graph and try to understand what is that. Right. So
Okay, sir.
then if you see the customer complaints, right? So Pareto analysis for this is for airport. This is for customer complaint. how they are going to drop. So what are the major complaints? Major complaint, 80% of the complaints are related to fish is not fresh, vegetable is wetted, bread is stale. So these three problems we need to focus on. What we do, cashier is rude, meat is not fresh, eggs are rotten. So if we focus 80% of the time, I will be sending in all tackling these problems. But 80% of the time I should spend in tackling why fish is not fresh or vegetable is wetted or bread is stale. I should focus on this. That is very important. So analysis of the laundry. So laundry. So what are the laundry person can also do is Pareto analysis. So what is happening with him? What are the major complaints? Late delivery is the main focus he should follow. Sometimes what happens in the apartment thing, missing or wrong items. Instead of giving it to house number 323, you will give it to 332 sometimes. So sometimes 223 want to give, you might have given it to 232, something like that. So missing or wrong items will lead to, you might have observed these kind of cases in your apartment or nearby. So fading colors. So these three things are very important. These 20% of the problems causes will create 80% of the problem for laundry. But we always focus on these button missing, stretched for tomorrow, stretched or something like that. So major causes we should focus on, which will lead to 80% of the problem. Is that clear, this slide? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So production stoppage, why production stoppage happening? What are the important causes? All right, machine quality change, intermediate conveyor, power failure. So many reasons will be there that will be highlighted using the Pareto production. So brainstorming, you people know it. Generate, you should not judge, you should generate as many ideas as possible. All those things you know it. Should not evaluate, should not judge the idea. Next one is cause and effect diagram. So it is found out by, it is also called as Ishikawa diagram. So cause and effect diagram. So to generate structured manner, maximum number of ideas regarding possible causes for a problem by using brainstorming. So how do I do it? So any problem you take in project management, we always tell, in reality there will not, the problem will not exist. It's all created by us only. So for a particular activity, I will have some idea in my mind, my colleague will have some idea in mind. So objective will be same, the actions will be different. That will lead to conflict in any project management. So that is what important is. So you should, your objectives are clear, so you can come out with only one action. So there will be less conflict. All right, so problem can be in any project, either due to machine, to material or method you are going to use. So this is how it looks like fish bone. So that is what it is called as a fish bone diagram. Cause effect diagram is also called as fish bone diagram. Right, so some example we'll see. So each of the main branches has many potential sub branches that further subdivide the potential causes. Can you see this diagram? So beautifully explained. What is the effect is high petrol consumption. So petrol is consumed very high. So what is the reason for that? Vehicle. In vehicle, what are the reasons? In vehicles, one of the reasons is technical details. In technical reasons, it's the technical details. There are sub problems. Again, there are spark plug may be a problem. Again, in technical details, carburetor may be a problem. Fuel mix is not happening properly, or in spark plug, life has decreased, or contacts is not there, or something like that. Related to contact, some issues are there. Right. If you come to materials, there are also materials, so maybe oil, or maybe petrol. In petrol, there might be impurities. That's why high petrol consumption or incorrect octane number. Right. So if you have used oil along with petrol, then incorrect in the viscosity of that particular oil, not changed for a long time. That's why leading into high consumption. So there are different sub issues. Maybe because of road also, road conditions are not good. So in the exam, some cause will be given. You should be able to develop the cause and effect diagram. You should be able to identify the causes and should be able to draw the, maybe roads conditions are not good. Circuitous roads, maybe poor condition. A poor condition in that there are potholes, there are steep. That may be leading into, one second. Yes, you got this diagram, right? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
If 10 marks asked, it should be able to draw like this 8 marks or 10 marks. I may ask you some questions like if there are any issues in a software, so what might be the problem? Something like that. You should be able to draw neatly, right? You consider method, you consider man. So due to lack in man, maybe lack of training or lack of testing, he may come out with bugs in software, right? Maybe so maintenance or whatever different issues, maybe human related, material related, environment related, you should be able to identify in detail. You should be able to draw this diagram. This is what we call it as cause and effect diagram. It is one of the quality improvement, quality tools. Comes under 7 quality tools, which are used in projects to identify the causes of the. Just one more example, simple example. But in the exam, you draw like this only. It should look like fish bowl. So sub problems you can draw it in sub lines like this. So that is very important. Lot of examples you will get in the internet also. Kindly look for that. Some examples of different examples of cause and effect. So what is the use to investigate? List down the causes and effect relationship of proper investigation. Analyze the problem to trace real root cause of the thing. Next comes histogram, one of the important quality tools. It's like graph. Graph displays the distribution of data. Maybe I want to analyze your marks. Maybe 60 students are there. I want to analyze what is their mean, what is their standard deviation, what is their variance in the data. I can find out using the histogram. So these are the 3 important things: a center, a width, and over all shape. So how to make histogram? You people know it. If you have Excel, you have already done it. You know how to do it. Try to learn that. How to draw the graph. So assume that this is the data point. Some example you can try it in Excel. Data on the metal block thickness. There are different data they have given. Right. So if I draw a histogram out of this, how it is going to look. So then they have made it a class. So different class they have made it. And for each class, they have made a mid value. Then now, how many frequencies are going to fall in that particular frequency table. So number of class you are going to decide how many class. For any data set is given, how many class you want to have. So what is the range of each class boundaries, and mean value of the class, mid value of that particular class, and then frequency. For example, 3 people are falling in this frequency, 3 people are falling in this frequency, right? Like that. So how histogram looks like now after doing all this. So it looks like this. Maybe if you see your marks, maybe 10, 20 marks are there. So 37 people have scored 60 marks or 70 marks. 33 people have scored 55 marks, something like that. right? So this is how it is going to give the histogram, right? So it will give the mean. This the middle one is mean. Here some extreme values, here less lower values, right? So is that clear? This histogram? Yes. This thickness, 33 items are going to fall. 3.45 thickness, 33 items are going to fall. 3.5 thickness, if you measure, 37 items are going to fall. Right. So is that clear? This diagram?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So histogram of bearing thickness, some more example. Thickness and how many numbers of bearings are going to fall under this thickness when you are going to measure. It looks perfectly normal distribution curve. It is called as bell-shaped curve, or it looks like bell-shaped. So it is called as normal distribution curve. This is bell-shaped. Hope you heard about normal distribution, right? Everyone has maybe in the school times you have read different distributions and all that. Yes or no? You know it, right? Yes,
Yes, sir.
you heard about it. Good. So that is what normal distribution curve we call it as. So different examples I'm going to share. Application, we get to know so how many are near mean, how many are away from mean. Maybe if I consider your marks. For example, if you order for pizza, maybe some 500 times you order pizza. So what is his arrival time? Right. So what is the mean? Maybe 28 minutes. Within 28 minutes he will arrive. What is the standard deviation? Maybe 10 minutes. Sometimes in due to rain or something like that, he may take up to 38 minutes. Sometimes due to pandemic, he may reach your home at 18 minutes also. Sometimes. So mean is 28 minutes. Right. So it can extend up to standard deviation is how your mean can shift both the sides, right? 28 minutes, here 10 minutes. So here less 38 minutes and the 18 minutes. That is what we call it as standard deviation. Your standard deviation is 10 minutes. So it may reach your home at any between that standard deviation any time, right? So is that clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay, good. So application of the histogram, comparison of two specification limits, comparison sources, it will give variability. What are the outliers present? Outlier means sometimes what happens is due to some unforeseen conditions, he will take some 45 minutes, right? So that is detected as a outlier. So it is crossing some limit, right? 38 minutes, whatever standard deviation you have assumed, right? So some it will that is what we call it as outlier. Maybe sometimes due to your next to your you are staying next to your Domino's pizza house only. So maybe if you order 10 minutes, you will be there at your home. That is also one kind of outlier. So it is shifting away from your mean value, that data. That is what we call it as outlier detection. You need to identify in your project what are the outliers. So how to uh, this pizza example, it may not be a defect, but you will be happy if you reach when you consider dimension. It is far away from the mean, right? So don't get confused. So outliers will be there in any process. You need to identify that. Types of histograms: right? Bell-shaped, double-peaked. Different types of histograms are there: screwed, truncated. Depending upon data, you have different types of histogram. Then scatter diagram. Again, I told you a relationship between two variables, right? So how with respect to one variable, how another variable is going to wear, right? So if you increase your height by 1 inch, so what will be the increase in weight? Is there any relation? Is there any relationship between that? That is what you are going to check. There is any relationship between your cutting speed and the tool life, right? So can I do that correlation or scatter diagram for that? I require data. So moisture content and thread elongation, breakdown and equipment age. Is there any correlation between breakdown and the equipment age? Is there any correlation between temperature and the lipstick hardness? Right? Is there any different correlation between striking pressure and the electrical current? Is there any relationship between temperature and the percentage of foam in the soft drink? So all these things are scatter diagram. So this is how speed and mileage. It is. Can you see this diagram? So this is called as scatter plot. See, if you go on increase, what it depicts, can anyone tell what it is going to depict? Yes. Can anyone tell? What you can depict for that, from that? Yes.
Sir, at what speed the mileage is maximum?
High speed, what you told?
Sir,
Can you
at
repeat?
which, like it depicts like at which speed the mileage is maximum, like it provides the
Yeah, if
maximum.
I increase speed, mileage is more or less with that
If we
diagram.
increase the speed, it's the mileage is less.
Correct. Very good. So that is the scatter diagram. So if you go on less speed, your mileage it is giving 35 kilometer per liter when you are at this speed. As you increase your speed to 65, your mileage is between 15 to 20. So that is very important. So this is a relationship between two variables, right? So difference between speed and the mileage. So if there is a linear relationship between, you call it as linear relationship, then non-linear, no correlation here. Negative, if you are negative relation, then different kinds of relationship will exist. So you need to identify. So if a y increases with x, then x and y are positively correlated. If y decreases as x increases, then two types of data are negatively correlated. If no significant relationship is apparent between x and y, then two data types are not correlated. How to make scatter diagram? All these things. That is not necessary, but you can directly select the data and go to scatter plot. These all things are can learn on your own. Right. So different things are given here. Conveyor speed and severe length. Are they related? Like that, conveyor speed and severe length. One more example. Uses of graphs and charts. The last one, graphs and charts. These are all pictorial representation of data, making it easy to spot trend, ratios, and comparison among different groups of data. The common types of graphs, what you are using is the chart, line graph, bar chart, pie charts. So these are different, like bar graph, we have different kinds of charts. Just I will show you. This is pie chart. This is bar graph. In histogram, they are attached to each other. Columns are attached to each other. Here, there is a distance between different graphs. The simple difference in the bar graph. It can be horizontal also, bar graph. So, percentage and personal performance. So, comparison of machine A and B weekly rejection. That can be compared using if we have only one variable, you can go for histogram. Here they are comparing two variables. Maybe you can use bar graph for machine A and B. In week one, machine A is machine B is producing more rejects. In week 4, machine A is producing more defects. Bar graph, a different way of representation. Then pie chart, people know it is usually used for categorical data. Pie chart. You can see that customer returned the watches. What are the reasons? Glass broken. A. So A is majority of the returned watches are because of glass broken. Maybe stop. B is the second highest. Movement trouble or whatever, defective dial regulation, all these things. Pie chart. Hope you got it, no? About the different types of. Let me open 1 second. Another 5 minutes. I'm going to finish. Hope you understood. Any doubts you have till now? Any doubts you
No,
have, you
sir.
can ask. Good.
No, sir.
Okay. Just from the important slide, I will show last slide. Then can you see the slide?
Yes, sir.
So these are the 7 important. Note down these 7 you have to write in the exam. 7 quality tools means flowchart one. No, one thing I missed it. I think remaining I have covered check sheet, cause and effect, and control charts. If you have flowchart and control charts, I left it, but I will show it. 7 quality tools which are used in control quality. You can see here control quality. So when this is cause and effect diagram, histogram I discussed, Pareto diagram, you know it. Then control charts. Control charts. One second. So this is the flow chart. Right. So in terms of when you write computer programming, in terms of flow chart, you are going to depict. So lamp doesn't work. Right. So what is the decision? Lamp plugged in. Yes. Bulb burned out. No. Plug in lamp. So bulb burned out. So yes. So some example they are going to give. You have to construct a flow chart for that. Right. This is decision box. This is operation box. Right. Then this is check sheet. So defect types are there in this column. Defect types are there. Here dates are there. So this defect has occurred Monday. How many times? Sunday is already no defects are there. Monday, if you see, 20 defects are only from supplied parts trusted. Wrong part issued 1 on Monday. So totally 10 defects have occurred in Monday. So day wise, what kind of defects are occurring? You can have this is check sheet. Is this clear? This slide? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So just to monitor your production or process in any project, scatter diagram we saw, control charts. Right. So in control charts, what we are going to do is we are going to draw. You might have heard maybe mean we are going to draw here. Then you will have upper control limit and lower control limit. Then you are going to measure the quality characteristics. Whichever point lying above or below the upper control and lower control limit, they are called as outliers. So based upon some formulas, you are going to draw the. So if I want to produce a 20 mm shaft diameter, so it can my upper control limit maybe I can go up to 21 centimeter, or I can go up to 19 centimeter. That is my lower control limit. 19 centimeter is lower control limit. 21 centimeter is upper control limit. So if I produce 21.1 also, that is going to fall out of upper control limit. If I am going to produce 18.99, that is going to fall under lower control limit. So they are called as outlier. Right, that is what we call it as control charts. Is that clear? Yes? Yes or no? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you see this control chart, consider the pizza example again. So your mean will be 20 minutes. Assume that is coming for mean. So upper control limit is 30 minutes. Lower control limit is 10 minutes. Right. So yellow line is your upper control, 30 minutes. This light blue color is 10 minutes. So if it is going to arrive more, this is if you consider this point, sometimes it's going to arrive more than 30 minutes. So assignable cause. Right. So that is what important. You are going to identify how many points, how many times he is going to fall out of the control limits. So that will I consider that defect. Just I'm giving a example of time. So when you measure length, weight, all these things can be plotted to this control chart. So this is 3 sigma level which you are going to come. Plus 3 sigma is your upper control limit. Minus 3 sigma is your lower control limit. So that's it. That is very important. These are the 7 quality tools. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's it for the day. Any doubts you have, you can ask. Or else we'll meet on Thursday. So we'll try to complete the quality chapter completely. Then we will start with project time management or risk management. This is quality management, what we are dealing now. Okay, so thank you all for joining. Wednesday, you can take those who have not attended. One more chance I'm going to give. Wednesday, you can take the quiz too. So if you miss, then again, there will not be any other chances. You will be getting 0. So Wednesday, without failing, you should attend. Okay. And assignment, I told you, you have to submit the YouTube link. Don't delay it. June 30th is the last date. If you don't submit, you are going to lose marks on date. I've been telling since 3 months now. Dates have been announced long back. I told you what exactly you have to do. Start working on that. So I told you any project of your choice, you take it. So any project which is already been done, what are the challenges, what is the methodology, what tools and techniques you have used, any project related to your branch, right? Any marvelous or 7 wonders of the world, what are the project, how Boeing is making the aircraft, that is also project. You take anything of your choice. I'm giving you full liberty. So within 15 minutes, you screen record yourself, right? And you have to submit a YouTube link in the Canvas. By any other mode, I am not going to accept the project. It has to be through Canvas only. Just you have to write a comment, your name, and you paste your YouTube link. That's it. No need of submission of any report or nothing. Sit at home and screen record yourself with a nice PPT, at least 30 to 40 slides, and 10 to 15 minutes should be the video duration. And it has to be submitted before June 30th. Then you will be given, if it is up to the mark, you will be given full mark. If you keep on delaying, you will lose the mark. That is what I want to say. Okay, is that fine? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you want, I will extend till Sunday. Okay, extend till this Sunday. Not more than that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Within Sunday, you have to finish your assignment. If you don't submit, simply I will put 0. So I've been telling it long time. Okay. Okay, then see you on Wednesday. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.